Hello, and thank you for watching. This is a follow-up to my interview I had with Miss Kasha. She's on Instagram, Tarot Map. She also has a wonderful YouTube channel, Tarot Map, at Tarot Map. Please follow her. She had asked me in her interview about the Watchtower stars and the origins, and I wasn't prepared to answer that question, but I have an answer for you now. Okay, and I also want to give a shout out to, if you want to get your daily tarot, please follow at Northern Lights Tarot on Instagram for your daily tarot reading. So now, with Manziel Tarot, the minor arcana is made up of these 4 watchtower stars according to the Kabbalah, which I first read in this book, Star Walking by Paige Bryant. If you turn over to page 43, she starts here. 4 watchtowers, watchers in the Kabbalah, watching over the earth. And back here she says, these stars were considered highly significant by the Babylonians, and at one time were used to mark the solstices and equinoxes. The number 4 is a sacred number for many cultures. Okay, let's flip over to page 44. Watchtower of the East is Aldebaran in Taurus. Watchtower of the South is Archangel Michael in Fomalhaut, in the star Fomalhaut, Pisces Australis. Watchtower of the North is Archangel Raphael with the star Regulus in the constellation Leo. Watchtower of the West, Archangel Uriel, is a star on Taurus in Scorpio. Okay, so when I first read this in this book, I had to find out more about these watchtower stars. All the stars are labeled, and all the lunar mansions are labeled based on this book. Over the weekend, I went to a Judaica store, as I had mentioned in my video, and I told a nice Jewish gentleman to please sell me a book on the Jewish beliefs and your stars. And over the past weekend, I just purchased this book and I already read it. The Secret of the Stars by Rabbi Ari Storch. And here he mentions the stars that we're talking about. So according to the Jews, at creation, the sun appeared to be in the midst of its travel through the constellation Scorpius, autumnal equinox. At the winter solstice in Aquarius. This I do disagree with because this book states differently and this book states differently. I do not believe it's Aquarius. I believe it's Fomalhaut and Pisces Australis at the vernal equinox. It says here Taurus and summer solstice Leo. So these, it says here, amazingly, each of these shifts occurred at a significant moment in the history of man as described by the Torah. So, and here it goes into autumnal equinox with Scorpio. So according to the Jews, they believe that these were the stars, the equinox stars and the solstice stars at the beginning of creation. And maybe that's how come the Kabbalah's name of watchtower stars is just what I'm guessing. Now, let's go to this book here. And we're going to start with, this is Regulus. The star Regulus. I'm on page 255. I'm on page 256. Here it says, it was a leader of the 4 royal stars of the ancient Persian monarchy, the 4 guardians of heaven. You read further down, it says, however, with Fomalhaut, Regulus, and Aldebaran, for the first 3 respectively, so that we may consider Sativus as Antares. And you read further, and it says that Regulus is very near to the summer solstice. Okay, so that's Regulus. We'll fast forward here. This here is Fomalhaut. We're talking about Fomalhaut. We're on page 345. And this is in Pisces Australis, Fomalhaut, the star. Here it says, Flammarion says that it was Hastorong in Persia, 3000 BC, when near the winter solstice and a royal star, one of the 4 guardians of heavens, sentinels watching over other stars. So Fomalhaut is considered one of the royal stars. And then let's go over next to Antares. Now Antares, here it says Antares 16th Manzil al-Kab. And here, in my tarot card, all the lunar mansions and all the stars are based off of this book. Star names and their meanings. So if you look here, this is the 4th edition. I have labeled Antares as the 16th Manzil, as stated here. Antares, the heart, one of the fortunate stations. And then you flip over and it says, it was one of the 4 royal stars of Persia in 3000 BC, and probably the guardians of the heavens. Next, we're going to go over to Aldebaran. Here we have Aldebaran. It's marked the 2nd Manzil that followed the 1st. Aldebaran is from Aldebaran, the followers of the Pleiades, or as Professor Whitney suggested. So here you'll see I marked in the Magician card we have here, Aldebaran, the 2nd Manzil. And the 1st Manzil is Alcyone in the Pleiades. So Aldebaran is also another royal star here. In all astrology, it has been thought eminently fortunate, portending riches and honor, and was one of the 4 royal stars or guardians of the sky of Persia 5,000 years ago, when it marked the vernal equinox. So, Miss Kasha, I hope that answers your question on the origins of the Watchtower stars. Now, as I had mentioned in the interview with Miss Kasha, this book, The Sacred Tarot, mentions that tarot is actually just Torah. That because of persecution, the Jewish people have used lexigrams and codes to hide secret messages. So the tarot can be actually referenced to the Torah. Now, I had an aha moment when I read this book this past weekend. The very first set of tarot cards I ever owned, my mother bought for me over 10 years ago. The Beginner's Guide to the tarot. I've had this deck for over 10 years. Now, I was always curious to know why in the world card, you see a man, you see an eagle, a bull, and a lion. Why is that? This book answered that question. It says here, the prophet Yeshizkel experienced a vision of God's holy throne, referred to as the holy chariot. His description detailed angelic beings supporting this throne. Each being had 4 faces, which initially described as faces of an eagle, a bull, a lion, and a man. When I read that this past weekend, that answered my decade-old question as to why these figures were in the world card. And it has to do with a prophet, a Jewish prophet, that had a vision of God's holy throne, referred to as the holy chariot. All right, well, my name is RiverMuddess. I'm on Instagram, Facebook, Tumblr, YouTube, Pinterest. And the tarot cards I created, Manziel Tarot, they're available for sale at www.makeplayingcards.com/sale/Manziel Tarot. I hope you enjoyed the video.